good motto. This is episode 4 of Gigs and Ghosts, where we talk about each week with a different guest who talks about their musical career and also all things spooky, all things dooky, all things ghosty, all things good. This week's guest, Mr. Steve Firth.
Hello, Mikey.
Hello, Steve.
Yeah.
I think you're the most successful musician I've had so far.
Well, you're only 4 in, aren't you?
Yeah, but still.
Still, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. This is Steve, if you don't know, is a bassist for Land Sharks.
That's the main one.
And your comedy side project, Embrace.
Embrace, yeah, but no one's heard of that.
Who else do you play for?
One-sided horse as well, occasionally, but...
And you've done Evil Blizzard.
Oh, yeah, only occasionally when,
Counts.
I just get grabbed and put a mask on and play along with them, yeah.
So yeah, it's like, so far it's been pretty much people from like punk rock bands and stuff like that. You're the first guest I've had who's actually been on Top of the Pops.
Yep.
TFI Friday.
Yep.
Were you ever on CD UK?
Yeah, a couple of times.
No way, did you meet Cat Dealey?
Yeah, she touched me.
No way! Where?
She touched my arm. Told me to cheer up.
Well, so, and Deck?
No, they weren't on, they'd gone by then.
No, but Cat Dealey was better anyway.
TFI were best.
Yeah.
That were good.
Who was on when you were on TFI?
Stereophonics, Tom Jones doing that, one of theirs.
Yeah.
Can't remember. They all blur into one. They're a long time ago.
I used to love TFI Friday. I got into so many bands. I remember seeing Slipknot on that for their first ever UK performance was on that. But anyway, let's talk about you, Steve. You. So you, of course, have been in Embrace a long time. How long have you been going now?
26 years.
26 years, you see.
Jesus.
But what is good about Embrace is that it's still the same lineup as when you started.
It is, yeah.
How have you done that?
It kind of works, we've all got different personalities and it fits together.
Yeah.
We've never had a fight, really. Never come to blows, never gone to bed cross, really.
Say I love you every day.
We don't do that. We're not. I mean, we don't go out drinking too often nowadays, but we used to hang around together as well. But everyone lives too far away now from each other. But yeah, when we get together, it's always fun. And it's always nice and glad to see each other. Yeah. And you miss each other when you haven't seen each other for a while.
It's that thing where when you've been on tour and you come back, you get the post-tour blues when you're not seeing.
Oh, I get that bad. Yeah.
It's like I've done it before, where we were all out on tour and then we got back, and then that night we're just all texting each other going, "Do you want to go to the pub?" You like to go hang out.
I mean, the last tour we did, it were only 2 weeks, and got home, and suddenly, just the next day, I thought, that is it. That's it for the album now.
Yeah.
2-week tour. In the old days, we used to do a month around the UK, a month around Europe, then back to the UK, maybe even go to America or Japan. Yeah. Now it was like 2 weeks or over, and I felt really down for about 2 weeks afterwards. So this is crap.
It's all right, man.
I'm all right. I recovered. I mean, I've been on tour for so long in the past where you start drinking earlier and earlier, don't you?
Yeah.
It gets to sound check and you go, I'll just have a beer at sound check, and then it gets to 12 o'clock, and then I remember getting home after a 3 or 4 week tour and like opening the fridge at 9 o'clock in the morning and seeing a bottle of Beck's in there and reaching for it.
Yeah.
I'm like, hang on, no. Go.
It's different rules on the road.
It is, yes.
So you've still got a massive fan base. It's never really faltered, does it? You're not one of those bands who went up, peaked, and then just dropped off again. You've been able to keep it. Why do you think you've got such a loyal fan base?
You tell me.
I have no idea, mate. Not a clue. No, it was.
We've never been sort of flavour of the month. We're not quite Britpop. We kind of missed the start of Britpop. Mm-hmm. We're a bit late to the party there. And we took too long between albums, so I don't know. We were never everywhere at once. Yeah, I think it's.
Yeah, you didn't spunky load too.
Exactly. Yeah, nicely put. Yeah. I mean, the closest we did to that was when we did the football song, and that was different league. Then we were instead of.
Was that for the World Cup?
Yeah, and that kind of nearly broke the band up. To be fair, because we're suddenly in a different level. We over toured. We instead of dealing with the enemy and all the music press, we were dealing with the Sun and the Mail and different types of press guys, reporters, and they're quite sleazy, and I hated it.
I know that you wouldn't like the Daily Mail or the Sun with your beliefs.
Well, I don't like most of them, to be honest.
You know what you call a right-wing person, are you?
No. It was funny. I remember me and Danny, we had to do a lot of the interviews because I'm the only one who knew anything about football because none of them are interested in football at all, which is the irony of it. And we went down to do like the Sun and the Mail and all these papers, like sat in a room doing loads of interviews. Then they said, we go to the park and kick the football around so we can get a few shots. And I ain't played football since I was 11.
Yeah, but you were still better than everyone else in the
Well,
round.
me and Danny were on the par. It had made a good comedy sketch, really, because we were trying to do keepy uppies, but the ball going 30 yards and we're having to run after it, pick it up. As we were going to pick it up, we were kicking it out of our hands. It was proper. It was like idiots.
I remember the video because you do like the old Wembley Stadium on the walk thing.
Yeah.
Because a girl I used to know, I think Izzy, she was a massive Embrace fan, and she was like chiming because she was in the video.
Yeah.
And like, going, oh yeah, I can't believe we're in the video.
Yeah, see, they did it kind of. They were half-assed with us, really. I mean, we were last minute. Obviously, they'd been let down by somebody, and this kept saying, "Oh, we'll get all the England team involved. You don't worry about it. You know, Rooney and Beckham will be in it and all this stuff." But they were all into like rap and the hip hop. They weren't into indie music, so none of them got involved
Stuart Pearce, though.
Yeah.
He loves punk.
Pierce. Yeah.
Yeah, he adores punk rock, doesn't he?
Yeah, he knows his stuff. He likes indie as well. But yeah, I've met him a couple of times at Stranglers gigs, and we did a Sky Sports thing once, and I met him at that.
Ah, cool. He just seems like a badass.
It was being it were being played intros to Stranglers songs, and he had to guess them, and I think he got 3 out of 5. And
That's pretty good.
I went up to him and said I'd got 5 out of 5.
Would-
It's a lot smaller in real life.
Well, do you know Aerial Salad?
Yeah.
Because he got their song on one of the football programmes.
All right.
Which I thought was really cool.
I like Psycho.
But so like you say, but we did those gigs with Landshark, Spotted Embrace.
Yeah, that was amazing.
That was so much fun, dude. But yeah, like every night, like your fans are fans for life.
But they were shocked with us that they didn't know how to take
Oh
us,
yeah,
really.
they had no idea. Remember when we were playing in Sheffield? And we came off stage, I got the crowd shout, "Fuck you, Chris," to my brother, even though he wasn't there, just for the hell of it. But I remember like being in the backstage room and then reading some people being instantly putting messages on the Landshark page.
What the fuck is that?
Hey, what was it? It's like going, not a bad band, but I wish you singer would fuck off. It's like, this singer has a name and it is Mikey. How dare you?
And he's bulletproof, you can't hurt him. Really.
It's not the worst review I've ever had, man. But yeah, it was just
Yeah,
like,
that were amazing, that.
yeah, how loyal your fans are. Like, you see the same people every night.
And they stand in the same spot as well.
Yeah.
And they get upset if new people come in and stand in their spot.
Oh,
It's
do
a
they?
bit cliquey like that,
Yeah, like, and then this was something else I noticed is after the first Landshark shows that we got, I got loads of friend requests from Embrace fans.
Oh, yeah.
So many.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like
they,
going
want to
wild.
know, they want to know all the gossip, you say.
Yeah. I was sending them dick pics at you.
Cool.
But I want some of this Embrace gossip. Like, number one, what's the most you've ever spent on a music video?
There's 2 or 3 have been £100,000.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Back in the day, everything had to be on 35mm film, which I think it used to cost about 10 quid just in film and stuff. And then you've got we'd do these videos like Good People, and I think the English football one might have been 100 grand. But you've got a cast of thousands making it. There's like assistant, first assistant, second assistant, all these people, and you know you're in a like caravan outside being waited on hand and foot. And
Was there a buffet table?
oh, everything, yeah. And there's like literally 30, 40 people making that video, all getting decent whack. And you know I think the video director gets 10% or something.
Oh,
So,
really?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So yeah, but it had to be good quality to go on MTV. Nowadays, you just film it on your phone for nothing.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of today. You know, you could probably make a video for nothing, couldn't you? Actually.
I've done it many times.
Yeah.
I did one here for Labracore where I'm a dog singing. Callum's got a thing that it could mask my face, but yeah, I think the most we've ever spent on a video is like 500 quid.
Yeah, but you got to remember, we were on Hut, which was part of Virgin,
Yeah.
and they had Placebo, The Verve, Gomez, and us all on this little label, all kicking off, selling loads of records.
Yeah.
They also had Spice Girls on Virgin, selling millions of records.
Oh,
There was
yeah,
a
so
lot of money
they have
around.
the money there, yeah.
So, once you sell a few records, then they start, saying, you start at your control, really. Suddenly you're spending £100,000. And then when you get dropped, eventually you realise you've spent £500,000 on videos that's got to be recouped by record sales, which we'll never ever do.
Yeah.
So we've never recouped anything. You know, I think we left Virgin owing them about 3 or 4 million.
No way.
Yeah.
But it was cool though.
I'd rather have some money.
Yeah, of course. But like, I remember you saying was it the second album where you rented a mansion or something?
Yeah, we were recording in Soundworks in Leeds with Tristan Norwell. And we were kind of doing demos in there, and it's a really small studio with no daylight.
Yeah.
And after a month or so, I said, "Hey, we're going a bit crazy," and said, "Let's get out of here and go and do what Led Zeppelin did and do it in a mansion."
In a big scary.
So I rang them up. They said yes. Literally hired this sort of. It was half derelict. The top 2 floors there was nothing. You know, it was quite brilliant for ghost hunting.
Yeah, I was going to
I wouldn't have gone up there on my own on a night. It's scary. But yeah, the downstairs had been done up a bit, but it had a massive ballroom, and in that ballroom we had like a massive hi-fi system, a table tennis table, 2 pinball machines brought in.
Wicked.
And so every night it was like we were all smoking about 20, 30, 40 a day as well. So we're all like playing table tennis, smoking, pinball, smoking, with gin and tonic in our hand as we're playing.
Proper 90s loaded magazines.
Yeah. And we had these 2 caterers in there 24 hours a day, and the fridge was full constantly of nice food. So you'd go and get a beer, and you say, "Oh, chicken drumsticks." So you walk out with a chicken drumstick in your hand and a can of lager. And after about 3 months of that, we're all a stone heavier.
Did you have like waiters coming around serving you beers?
Actually, we did. We had like big meals from the table, and they served us. Not waiters, but
that's pretty cool.
2, I can't remember the names.
So how did you end up leaving Virgin owing 3 million?
So yeah, if I could go back, I'd go back to that time actually, because we had parties every weekend. I'd invite all friends and family down.
Yeah.
And we'd do what we called spooky tours back in the day, because it had a really spooky cellar with a railway track in the middle of it. And it had a room that went in, and there's like an old projector.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, what the hell they're watching down here kind of thing.
That's like the start of some horror movie.
Yeah, it's like there's a snuff thing going on here. And then you go into the next room, there's it was like a wood chopping room, so there's an axe in a trunk of a tree just in the middle. It's like straight out of a horror film. And there's one coal bunker and all that stuff. But it was massive. Then upstairs, it had some really strange rooms where there's like dead flies everywhere, and
that's the sign of witchcraft now.
And windows had been broken, so there's like leaves all over the floor, and then you could go up a tower onto the roof itself, which was like a massive stately home. Yeah. And we used to lay on the roof on a night looking at the stars, drunk.
How long were you there for?
3 or 4 months.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Imagine that, how much that would have cost.
No.
And we were all, first album sold 500,000, 600,000. So second one, they'll all buy one for their friends, so we'll sell 1 million, you know.
Yeah.
I think it sold half as much. And then the third one, half as much again.
But your last album that came out last year, which is called
How to Be a Person.
That went top 10?
Yeah, we did. Number 9, yeah.
So
it's a different world now, though.
Oh, yeah. It's like, back then it had to be like, sell 300,000 or to get in the top 10.
4,500 now.
Shut up.
Yep.
That's really upsetting, because I didn't even get in the top 40.
Top 40, you'd probably need about 1,000, 2,000.
No way. What? Is that because of all like streaming sites and stuff, though, isn't it?
That's counted in it, though, I think.
Is it?
I think it's all weighted, isn't it? I think it's 1,000 streams equals an album or something. I'm not quite sure, but I think it's all weighted.
That's crazy. But yeah, so congrats on still getting top 10 albums.
Oh, it's brilliant, yeah. It's amazing after all this time.
Is that every album's been top 10?
Yeah.
I
think we should retire now and stop and just leave it at that.
Have you ever had a number 1?
No. Album.
Oh, you haven't?
We've had 3 number ones.
Yeah. God, yeah.
A number 2 single.
Did you ever win a Brit?
We won Best New Band at the first album.
What year was that?
98, I think. 98, 90.
I went in 99 to Brit once. My mate won a competition, and I met Dame Bowers, who was there with another level, and we're on a table like Cleopatra. Do you remember them? Cleopatra.
Yeah.
And Chris Eubank was walking around just offering his autograph.
Isn't it amazing? Just star spotting.
Yeah, and there was Huey from Fun Loving Criminals was with the girl out of All Saints, who had just broken up with Robbie Williams, and like Cher played, Whitney Houston played, Eurythmics played with Stevie Wonder, and Placebo played with David Bowie singing.
Wow.
It was just like nuts. It was actually like, what is going on here? I was dressed so nice in like long leather jacket.
Were you trying to be cool, or were you just going running around going, ah?
I was trying to be cool.
Yeah.
Well, not trying. I was very cool. I wasn't very cool.
No, but you weren't.
Yeah, my little Liberty Spikes in. I looked like I was in some shitty boy band. Big baggy pants on.
I remember meeting Mark Radcliffe, and I was more into him because I liked Mark Radcliffe in the music. He was the new John Peel one, really.
Yeah. Was he in Screwdriver?
No, I don't think so.
I think he was, man.
What? Which Screwdriver? The original Screwdriver wasn't racist and horrible. No,
Yeah.
it was. Was it the first one or the second one?
They were all pretty racist and horrible.
Oh,
yeah.
right, yeah. Well, anyway, he used to come to Huddersfield a lot. So
Oh, no
I
way.
liked knew all the area.
Well, when I put on like the socials that you were doing this podcast, that's a question I got asked. Is someone can you ask him? Does he consider Embrace to be a Leeds band or a Huddersfield band?
Well, we're more Huddersfield than Leeds, I suppose.
That's what I said. Yeah.
First gigs we ever did were at Duchess of York with me in the band. I did 6 there before we got signed. I mean, I'm 3 of us born in Halifax, 2 of us born in Bradford, so nothing really Leeds.
That's pretty much Huddersfield, isn't it?
Yeah.
So Sean O'Toole, there's your answer. Huddersfield, mate. Huddersfield. So.
And I've done a bit of painting and decorating in Huddersfield on the slide. Don't tell the tax man.
Well, that's weird because the tax office listens to this podcast weekly just to catch up.
I owe you 20 quid.
But you've got some big tasty gigs coming up this year.
We've got the Peace Hall, which is one of the most special gigs we've ever done in our life, really. It's unbelievable as a Peace Hall.
Like the last time you played there, I remember seeing the videos. I was going to come over and then I think I was ill or something.
All right. Well, it was a beautiful day, which is rare.
Yeah.
Beautiful place, and it was a great reaction. Fantastic. And it's really, because it's my hometown as well, and it's kind of, Halifax has had its up and downs over the years. When we were kids, it was kind of really busy, then it's died. And all pubs were a bit crap and old-fashioned, and it were all, electric, John Smiths, and now it's all craft ales and all that.
They've really turned it around, yeah.
It's
I mean,
really cool.
I lived in Halifax for a little bit. My brother had a pub called the Plummet Line.
Plummet?
Yeah, did you
You're
see
joking?
that? Yeah, he was manager there. And,
that's the one of the oldest pubs around. We've been going there since we were about 15.
It was creepy, man. So I used to go there, and what was it called? This place that used to turn into a mosher club on a Friday night. But everybody in there, even the staff, were like 15. It was great.
I know what you mean. I can't remember.
No, is it Tram Shed?
Tram Shed, yeah. There was it Tram Shed?
Something like that.
There was a Tram Shed. I'm not sure which era.
And the Old Cock. Do you remember?
Oh, they used to have bands on in the Old Cock.
Yeah, I used to play there a bit.
Yeah.
But Halifax is cool now.
Now it is.
Yeah, Peace Hall looks amazing.
Yeah.
And so how many does it hold?
5,500.
Sweet. Have you got the full lineup?
For our gig?
Yeah.
It's us, Star Sailor, and Eva. Not Eva. Is it Eva? Ella.
Yeah.
Eva's Rick's.
So
Ella's.
Ella's that Danny's kid.
Rick's daughter.
Rick's daughter.
She's brilliant. She's going to be massive if there's any.
Yeah, she did
justice
the
in
last Embrace, didn't she?
Yeah, she's got loads of talent and loads of confidence and charisma. Yeah.
Nepotism at its finest.
It is, well.
I mean, that's how we got the land shirts on.
That's how the world works, isn't it?
Damn right,
It's so
damn
you know.
right. Yeah. That's what I loved about when we did that Embrace tour, and it was like a case of our 4th, 5th, and 6th gigs were sold out, crazy giant venues.
I've always thought it would be amazing if the Land Sharks got to go on tour and do a tour bus thing because Sam was so excited, wasn't he? And
I was so excited.
And you were, yeah.
I'd never been on a nightliner before.
It'd be amazing. It'd be such a laugh.
Yeah.
Probably I'll be dead at the end of it.
But always good. I mean, one thing which shows how successful you are as a band is how I base it is the size of your rider.
All right, yeah, it's
and
crazy.
There was a lot of booze.
Yes.
And
Well, what happens at the start is that everyone puts in, get me a bottle of gin, get me 2 bottles of red, and it all starts off massive.
Yeah.
And as the tour goes on, it says, we don't need any more gin because we've got 3 bottles stacked up now.
Yeah.
Now we don't need any more red because we've got 8 bottles stacked up. And it kind of, by the end of the tour, the booze order goes down and down and down. I mean, we're paying for it anyway. What people don't realise, Riders, a band's paying for it. So you can ask what...
It comes off the back end, doesn't it?
Yeah, so whatever you ask for, it's your money.
I mean, I remember what I was amazed about, and I kept on saying to Sam, going, have you seen their rider? They've got 2 cooked chickens.
Yeah.
I've seen one before, but 2
one time we had
chickens.
5.
5 rotis,
Yeah.
like one apiece.
Yeah, because like everyone was like doing Atkins and stuff, just eating meat, so they were just devouring chicken every day for about 2 weeks until no one could stand the sight of chicken.
Yeah, that amazed me. I was just shocked.
Yeah.
I was like,
I mean, they're only about £5, so it's not.
I know.
But it's a
I don't
great
know why.
idea.
You know, there was stacks.
It's only like
there
a
was,
couple of triangle sandwiches, isn't it? And you feed.
But there was like stacks of booze there, and that's all I could focus on. Was like 2 cooked chickens, and nobody's touched them. They're just there.
There's all stuff that people order, like ginger, and that mounts up, and no one,
Ginger, lemon, and honey.
Yeah.
A band's always want that.
Yeah.
And never use it.
Never use it. Just
Never.
throw it in the bin.
I mean, I've had some weird riders come through in the time.
I bet. I usually go home at the end of the tour with a load of tuna fish in it. And some peanuts.
Your cat's just loving you.
Well, it's not for them, it's for me.
I remember, Agnostic Front.
Yeah.
They were playing at the parish once. It was the last night of the tour. And the 2 of us went, big nightliner. I'm like, oh, that was nice. And I was about to go home, and I went out the back gate just to check. And they dumped their whole riders from the whole tour there on the side of the thing. I went home with like 100 cans of Coke and so on.
Wow.
Just like, get a taxi, get it all in the boot. I didn't have to do a big shop for weeks.
You usually end up with like a big bin liner full of Yorkshire tapas, which is kind of like ham, isn't it?
Yeah,
Pork pies and stuff that everyone's not eating.
Cold meat cuts and
Cold
cheeses and bananas.
So if you're really tight, you can take it all home and live off it for a week or so.
Oh, man, yeah.
So if there's any spirits left, I'll take them home. Make sure I get one of them.
I like when we do riders at our place, it's like I always have a look at the end at night and say, no, we've left this.
Yeah.
Yep, nice one.
Nice one.
But so you've been part of the indie scene for 26 years, you were saying.
Yeah.
But your heart lies in punk rock.
That's what got me into wanting to be in a band, I think.
Yeah. What bands?
Well, when I was 15, well, what happened is like I used to listen to the radio every week and this, the old school where you've got your fingers on the play and record, ready to record anything.
Yeah.
And I used to like Sweet and Mud and T-Rex and all these kind of glam and Slade and things like that, all glam bands in the 70s. And then suddenly, I remember buying like ABBA for some reason, Take a Chance on Me.
ABBA are pretty good, man.
Yeah. And a couple of other things, like even Boney M. And then next week, yeah, I did. Then the next week, it was like If the Kids Are United by Sham 69 and then Boomtown Rats. And then in about a matter of 2 weeks, I'd gone from liking pop music stuff just to liking punk, and that was it.
Yeah.
So somehow it was just Clash, Pistols, and all that stuff. Then I went to see the Dickies at George's Hall.
What a band!
And our first gig I ever saw. And my mate took a banana to throw at them. Thinking, he says everyone will be taking bananas. So he threw it at stage and they stopped playing. Who's thrown this? So then it was like, this was all at George's Hall in Bradford.
Yeah.
So it was Dickies, then the week after, I think it was Susie and Cure, The Damned the week after, a month after, whatever, and just Joy Division and Buzzcocks together. And all my first gigs were there and they were all amazing, It was like, before punk was a uniform, it was kind of...
Ooh, I like that.
It was more... it was fancy dress then.
Yeah.
Everyone was trying out every different look they could think of. You'd have loved it, because it was like people just went with green faces.
Sweet.
It was dressed in a bin bag, or,
Hey, good for them, man. Good for
the punk look didn't come in until early 80s, did it? With like Discharge and stuff like that, where it's all leather jackets, studs.
Yeah, studs, man.
Which I loved.
Did you have one?
Yes, yeah.
I used to have a studded belt.
I've got stud belts now.
Yeah.
I had a leather jacket, put all studs in it, painted on the back.
What did you paint?
I had a Discharge one. Is it D-Control where he's got his hand out or something? That
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
I painted
yeah.
that on. And I painted in my bedroom. I had a big Stranglers Rattus thing that I painted in my bedroom as well. So
That's cool.
we're into all that. And then obviously, then it got into Crass came along, and that scared the shit out of me.
We had Carol Hodge last week, who's works with Steve Ignorant, and they're just doing the Crest tours.
I went to see him on the last tour.
Yeah. Good do.
We all got COVID. So I had it twice. 5 of us got COVID, and I think the Crass bass player got COVID that night as well. At Rudinell. Yeah, we're good. It doesn't work as well as it did back in the day, because when we used to go and see him, like, what year is it? 81, 82 or something. But they'd all be dressed like in black boiler suits.
Yeah.
They'd have all these, like, they almost look like Nazi drapes behind them, but it's all anarchy and peace and stuff.
Yeah.
And they had TV screens showing, like, horrible vivisections and nuclear wars and all this stuff going on in the background.
So not for
And
kids.
it felt, yeah, we were 15 and, like, everyone else was probably 18, 19, and we felt like this was kind of really scary, almost like a political rally.
Yeah.
And, you know, there were never any trouble, but there was always hints of trouble outside.
It's like bubbling underneath.
Yeah, I remember going to see Conflict, which were Crass were anarchy and peace, but not whereas Conflict were that with direct action. So they were, you know, they're the guys going letting out animals from vivisection stuff and all this stuff and causing trouble. And I remember going to see them in Manchester. There must have been about 50 coppers outside. You had to walk through them to get into the gig, and there was about 50 punters in the gig.
That's bad. That's when punk rock goes punk rock.
Yeah, that did feel a bit dangerous. That.
Who are you listening to at the moment? Anyone that people should check out?
I like the OCs. I'm obsessed with the OCs.
Yeah, you've talked
I
about
like War on Drugs a lot. Chill out.
They're playing at the Peace Hall, aren't they, Warren?
Yes, I've managed to get on guest list.
I was going to see if you're going to get... You might as well get on guest list.
Yeah, I've quite varied me. Yesterday I was listening to Nick Cave, Distillers. I was listening to
Always.
I like the Distillers.
Yeah, Distillers.
So you can't listen to punk all the time, you know.
No, it's true.
It's just
true.
you've got to be in the mood. I was painting yesterday, so I had a varied collection of stuff going on. I even listened to Japan, if you remember them.
I do remember Japan.
Back in the day.
Have you listened to Turnstile yet? I got Mike into
I
them.
keep forgetting.
You need
Turnstile.
to check them. They're so good,
Yeah.
man. I'll send you a link.
Yes.
Yeah, I got Mike into them. He loves them now.
Right. I listened to Refused, Shape of Punk to Come.
Classic album.
What
man.
an album.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got everything on it. It's jazz, it's freaking dance.
Genius,
It's,
absolute genius.
It is.
And when they reformed a few years ago, I went to see him over in Manchester Academy, and it was just insane.
I bet.
Best frontman I've ever seen. Like, he did threw the mic in the air, did like this backwards roll into the splits, caught the mic, then like was suddenly back on his feet, just going, holy shit.
I don't really know anything about them. I just about 10 years ago, I just sat bored at home and just typed in best punk albums of all time, and that was always in the top five.
Always, yeah.
Dead Kennedys, Fresh Fruit,
Yeah.
Pistols, obviously, and that were always
And
there.
it was on a great label, Burning Heart, who had like Melancholy and The Hives.
Oh, right,
Yeah,
right.
it's all like
The Hive's great.
All these European like punk bands.
Yeah. My brother's a major punk because he's even through all his life he's just gone to punk gigs. So, he loves American punk bands. He used to go and see the Dwarves all the time when they came over, and he used to go on his own because he didn't have anyone to go to. And he'd come and see this. Oh no, because everyone was married and settling down, but he'd still be like driving to Manchester, driving to Hull, driving to Liverpool just to see all these little bands flying in, and he just kept going. You know, wasn't really interested in indie, but if you want to talk punk, my brother's the guy who knows.
Right.
Because I've got this massive gap, but he's not. He's just kept going since he was like 13, 14.
A lifer.
Yes.
A true believer.
Yeah. And he's an accountant, you know, it's the most boring job in the world.
The most punk rock job of all, man. But anyway, Steve, that was the music. We've talked about Embrace, talked about your love of punk, talked about Land Sharks. Now we're going to get to the meat.
Right.
We're going to talk about... Whoa! I always start this the same way, Steve. Do you believe in ghosts?
Intellectually, not at all. But there's part of me that I would not want to be in a spooky house on my own at night. And, you know, the films that scare me the most are not the slasher, gory horror films, but your ghost ones. Yeah, definitely. Anything with ghosts. M.R. James, Lovecraft kind of stuff. Spooky Victorian. Hammer, they scare me a bit.
Did you ever see The Conjuring?
Yes, I've seen The Conjuring. Yeah.
And Woman in Black?
Oh, I started that, but I never...
Got scared.
No, I didn't get scared.
Dude, it's okay to admit if you're scared, man. We all get scared. I found it very scary. There's no way that should have been a PG.
No, but there's zombies and things like that, not interested. But yeah, something about ghosts, kind of...
The unknown.
Yes, it is.
Like you say, like intellectually not all, but there's something in you that
Well,
goes...
I've been ghost hunting. My friend Craig, he's massively into ghosts and, you know, true believer. So I've done 3 of the most haunting nights with him.
Where did you go?
I've been to Bolling Hall, been to Hodroyd House, which was near Barnsley. And then the best one was the Galleries of Justice in Nottingham.
Yeah.
It's an old courthouse, so it's a proper old-fashioned wooden, 70s TV courthouse, and below it's got these really old cells, but below that level there's caves.
Oh,
And
shit.
that's where in the Middle Ages they just like dump you down in the cave in the darkness and just let you starve to death, just leave you there.
That's not very nice.
So
is
they
it?
tell you all this stuff,
Yeah.
gets you all tense, and
Yeah, yeah.
all lights are off. It's like midnight, 2 o'clock in the morning, winter always. Then they turn the lights off in the caves, and it's quite
Do you do
intense.
like seances and
Yeah, they do seances and
anything
ouijas.
happen?
No.
And none of these ghost hunts. Have you ever had some Ouija board creepiness or?
No, because I know what it is, and it's the idiomotor thing. It's called. It's your involuntary finger movements. You're actually pushing it without you or being aware of it.
Nah, you say
So
you say you know what it is, but are you just looking for excuses? This sounds like an excuse.
I'm scared when you do it because
yeah.
I mean it's tense. You're with a lot of people as well, so
Yeah, it's all heightened.
It's kind of some people are getting proper scared, and freaking out.
I did one once, and it freaked me the fuck out, man. Because that thing was moving, and it was not nice.
Right. All right.
Like all their hairs.
Well, it would with me, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like really, just not a good time. But why do you think people have this obsession with the paranormal, with ghosts and stuff?
It makes life more interesting, doesn't it?
It does, man.
I mean, an afterlife is, it's part of everyone's makeup in it. If you're not into ghosts, you're into religion. There's not. I mean, probably half the people don't believe anymore, but probably something deep inside, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Carol last week had this some good opinions about where she thinks about happening. So about sandstone and almost catches things like a cassette catches music.
Oh, that's the stone tape.
Yeah,
I've read
stone
it.
tape, yeah.
Stone tape is. I used to think that made sense. That sort of magnetic, magnetic ions, like ferrous ions in the rock, might act like, trap emotions, and then it'd just be a loop. But then I found out it was a Christmas horror story that was done on the BBC in 1972. And it was just someone's story that they came up with. And then since then, people have started to believe in it.
Yeah,
and there's science of it. There's no way the science works. But I did think it was good.
Unpopular opinion. I'm not a big believer in science, mate.
Right, okay.
And I think, bit bullshit in it. Always gets proved wrong eventually.
Well, that's the nature of it, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
the best current knowledge, all it means, isn't it?
Exactly.
So it's open to, if you see a ghost and everything, if a ghost exists, if you can prove it.
Yeah, but it's like when people say, going, show me the proof. Well, why is there no photos or videos? And I'm always like, there's fucking hundreds of thousands of photos and videos. I'm going to show you one in a bit.
Okay. The other thing as well, I read that most ghosts aren't visual. They don't see like a body walk through a room. They feel something, or the temperature changes, or they'll see a shadow, or they'll hear something.
Feeling a dread in your stomach.
So it's more that than like seeing sort of a woman in black. And why are they always Victorian as well? Answer me that one.
Oh, they're not always, man. They're not always. Tim, the guitarist in Shiraz, was telling me about his mum's got some wicked ghost stories. And like I always say, mums aren't liars.
Mums aren't liars.
When a mother tells a ghost story, because my mum's told me some in the past from when she worked at St. Luke's and stuff. I take that as gospel. But he was going. She's always had a bit of a thing where she can sense stuff. And she was driving once, and she started saying to people in the car, going, "What's this idiot doing in front of us?" And I go, "What do you mean? This idiot here, going on about some cyclist or something in front of us. What are you on about? There's nobody there." You're going, "Right there, what the hell's he doing?" Then went about half a mile down the road. That guy who she'd seen in front of the car, dead on the side of the road, he'd been knocked off his bike.
No,
the exact same guy.
Spooky if it's true.
Yeah, spooky. Like each week, each episode, I've been showing people this picture. It's I was out in Florida a few months ago, and met with my buddy Brad from The Attack, who are an amazing band. Right. He lives out there, and he wasn't a believer until this time, where he was on a video chat to his missus and stuff, and going, "Oh, I'm seeing this supposedly haunted hotel. It's so spooky. Just taking a piss." And then she sent him a picture back saying, "Did you see what you picked up?"
God.
When I saw this, honestly, I was like, "Holy shit!"
Oh shit!
That's in an empty hallway. There was no one else there, but that was behind.
Yeah.
Not nice, is it?
No, I mean, that would freak me out.
It's
The
like
trouble is, nowadays, you can't really believe anything you see on internet as well, because
Yeah.
a lot of it is people's, like, art projects or
I mean,
the degree course
you
that they're doing.
You find the Japanese ones are always like really creepy, but then you're there going, but it's always a girl in white with black hair over her face, you know.
Like what is it, The Ring?
Yeah. But I've seen. I watched a thing on Nukes, and it hasn't been on in a few weeks, but on YouTube, and many a times that shit me up, especially if I'm home alone and I'm watching it at bedtime. So now I watch ghost videos in the day. Because I've got 9 months at home alone at the moment.
Oh God, what are you going to be like at the end of that? You're already making yourself up into a woman.
I look good in drag, man. I look good in drag. Do you have any ghost stories?
No, not say I've never experienced anything. Like I said, I would not have walked on the top floor of Batsford Manor where we recorded our second album at night on my own. No way. I didn't even like being in my bedroom on a night because there was spooky air to it.
That's it. Yeah, we can sense it. Like
Yeah. It's like we get under the covers.
I've talked on this podcast before about Jeff, the one we've got in our house. Jeff's, I hope he's not listening, is a dick. He locks people in the bathroom all the time, knocks on the front door, just does awful things around the house. Like turns the taps on when you just got into bed, turns them on full. You've got to go in the toilet. Oh yeah.
That's a bit strange.
And now, like I say, because I'm alone for like these 3 months.
Well, I'd have the lights on, I think.
The other morning, I was in bed taking a piss out of my dog because he's blind and deaf. He's so cute. So I was just like, it could be a train, having to pull him onto the bed because he can't get up. And then he decided to knock really loudly on the wall of my bedroom. And that was a new one. I wasn't happy about that. I did a, God's sake, Jeff, why are you doing this to me? So I did what any brave man in his mid-20s would do. I got up in my boxer shorts, put on my Crocs, got the dog and went outside. Like, come on, let's just stand out here, have my coat on, just my boxers. Yeah, we'll go back in a bit once I've got brave.
Have you heard the one about it's like low frequency? That's another one.
Yeah.
I watched this TV program once that I thought I'd explained it all, and it was like, I don't know the guy. It might have been a psychologist. Is that the word, psychologist?
Yeah,
psychologist. And he was also a fencer, and he was in his like workshop, and he was going to fix his rapier. Is it the sword? Anyway, he puts it in a vice, and it starts vibrating, and he feels this almost like someone behind him all the time. He keeps looking, and it just seems someone disappear, and he's getting really on edge, and it's vibrating. He doesn't know what's going on, so he goes around the room thinking, he's being scientific about it, turning things off, and then eventually turned off the air conditioning, the new air conditioning unit, and it stopped vibrating, and suddenly felt good again.
Yeah, I've heard that before with like fridges and pubs and stuff.
And so then he invented this helmet and did it proper tests in the lab, where it was like, was it electric currents? I think I can't remember if it's electric current or this is a low frequency, but it tests people out, and people tend to see whatever their background is. So if you're an Indian, you might see some sort of Indian kind of apparition, like a god.
Yeah.
If you're really religious, you might see Jesus or God. If you're into ghosts, you might see ghosts. If you're into aliens, you might see aliens.
Right.
If you're an agnostic, don't believe in anything, you don't see anything.
You're just tripping balls.
So it's all, how it affects you is all to do with, your prior beliefs. But then I've also read that when they did a double-blind experiment on it, it didn't work at all. So the people were just tripping balls just because they thought they thought they were going to do that. So it's all like suggestion. So the mind's very strange.
The mind is a very strange thing, and they say that came up with one of the past ones. People with like heightened emotions sometimes attract this sort of thing, like poltergeist activity. They say normally it's due.
That's usually pubescent girls into it and stuff.
That's one of the things.
I'll go through the check.
Came up last week. Is like, so going, is that a thing? Maybe like
the other thing is the brain's looking for patterns all the time, and I've read that it's better to sort of get it wrong and see stuff when it's not there than to miss something that's there.
Yeah.
So if you're like our ancestors, if there's a tiger or whatever predator after you need to be able to see that. So, but So it's better to see it when it's not there and run away because you're safe, you survive. So it's like, the ones that ran away all the time survived it.
Yeah,
The one, so I don't know.
There's a lot. Well, I've got a couple of ghost stories because I do get people to send in because people love to talk about ghosts. You find if you're anywhere with 5 people, at least 1 or 2 of them.
Yeah,
will have
I've got 2 mates that are massive believers.
Yeah, and everyone seems to have a ghost story.
Yeah.
It's like I've had people come up to me in the pubs and stuff, start doing this, and just like start telling me their stories. So I've been asking people to send them in. Like I say, if you do have one and you want it to be on this show, do send it to mrshirez_gigs@hotmail.com. Also, wherever you're watching or listening to this, do give it a rating and upvote or whatever you do, because I got told that's good. It gets it out to more people.
Yeah.
But I've been sent 2. And would you like to hear them, Steve?
Yes.
Are you ready to...
Well, I sleep tonight.
No, mate, no. This one is quite interesting because I've heard this sort of thing before. There we go. It's like my granddad told me a story about how one time he was sitting in a chair outside his house and he heard his wife repeatedly calling him from inside the house. The thing is, my grandma had died quite a few years before that. But he was saying that the voice was definitely her. It was like, it sounded exactly like her. So much so that he's like, my wife's in the house. So he got up to go into the house and like, hello, just saying hello. And just as he went in, he heard a massive bang and part of the roof had fallen off and hit exactly where he was sat.
Fuck.
Crushing it completely. It's like, it could have killed him. Like, they're saying, we don't know if it's paranormal or not, but every time he thinks about it, it just sends chills down my spine.
That's a good one.
Yeah, well, I've heard about this sort of thing. My brother Chris, when he was a kid, used to get asthma really bad, and he'd like have massive asthma attacks. And I think it must have been about 8 or 9. He had an asthma attack in his sleep, and my mum came in, like, helped him sit up, come on, rubbed his back, rubbing his head, going, "Are you okay? Just breathe, and calm down, put him back to sleep." Thing is, when he brought it up to my mum the next morning, was not my mum.
Yeah.
It wasn't my mum, because he didn't actually look at the lady or anything like that. He just presumed it was my mum because that's the only woman in the house. But my mum's mum passed when my mum was 16, and she's always felt like she's like looking over him.
Right.
So she thinks maybe it was like her mum coming in and sitting him up and making sure that he's okay, like protecting. Because I've heard it like many times, like this sort of like people you being watched. And
So what is a ghost then? What is a ghost? So does it mean there's an afterlife and people are stuck between here and the afterlife?
I have no answer to that.
And you're saying they're looking down on you and interfering,
not
influencing the life.
Well, maybe.
How does that work?
I don't know.
Where are they?
I don't claim to have the answers, my man. No, but it's like, it's just like maybe not, I'm not saying like looking down from heaven. I'm just saying, keeping a watchful
floating on a cloud naked or
whatever. I do that anyway. But yeah, just like so you're seeing that maybe when times of trouble or strife in a person's life.
You see, I like that stone tape thing because it's like if there's a ghost there, it's doing the same thing all the time. Repeating. Now it'd be a very boring afterlife, wouldn't it? That
depends if you're doing something fucking cool, then. Doesn't it? Jerking off into a bucket. That's ectoplasm.
Oh, Jesus.
But yeah, that always interests me when I hear those sort of things. Right.
What's the other?
The other one. Ooh, this is good. And it's by paramedics, so you know it's true.
It's definitely true then. Yeah. They don't lie.
Yeah. So, paramedic. These 2 paramedics, and there's always been talk where they work in ambulance land or wherever, about this one ambulance which everyone used to claim was haunted. Like people hated driving. You'd always used to get an uneasy feeling driving this ambulance, like that. What was saying earlier about like that.
Yeah.
That nasty feeling in your stomach. My partner and I were working in a rural community at 3 a.m. and it was pitch dark and completely quiet. We were both dozing. I was in the driver's seat and she was in the passenger seat. I woke up to a muffled voice, but I thought my partner was talking. I told her I was trying to sleep and I closed my eyes. I then distinctly heard a male voice say, "Oh my God, am I dying?" followed by a few seconds of heavy breathing. My partner and I, we both sat up straight, looked back into the patient compartment where it sounded like the voice had come from. Things were quiet for a couple of seconds. Then we heard the click of an oxygen bottle regulator and a hiss, as if it was leaking. I turned on the lights and we ran out of the ambulance. I thought a transient might have climbed in while we were asleep, so we opened the rear doors. No one was there. I checked the oxygen bottles, neither was opened. We didn't sleep at all after that. Haunted fucking ambulance, mate. What do you think about that?
Well, they were dozing, so you kind
But
of...
they both heard it.
Both heard it. But couldn't one of them just have farted or something?
I don't know. I mean, I've done some weird farts in my life, but none of them have ever sounded like, oh my god, I'm a dying.
No, the hiss.
Oh, the hiss.
Yeah.
I mean, the hiss. Yeah. Well, they do call farts bum ghosts.
I've not heard of that.
No, but you know, going down, they both heard this voice, and what a creepy thing to hear. Oh my god, am I dying?
You need to write all this down. There's a great book in this.
There is, you know, just like, I want people to...
Little bedtime story stuff that can put you on edge.
I had it once where I heard a voice really loud and clear, and it shit me up. Do you remember Joseph Well in Leeds?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I used to work there, like, back in like the late 90s, early 90s. It's where I saw the Twin Tower thing happening live on TV, going, holy
God,
shit.
Yeah.
But I remember when we first moved to Leeds, we didn't have a house just yet, so my big brother, who was the manager, we just lived in the pub and just used to sleep on the couches and stuff. And I was asleep one night in there, and then, clear as day, in my ear, somebody went, there's somebody in the walls. But it was like proper, there's somebody in the walls. This far away from my ear. And I was just like, I sat up, petrified, and it used to be in World War II, that was the morgue. Because that was part of the hospital and stuff, and that's when they kept on bodies, which is like good. Maybe there is someone in the walls. You know, but I heard many a story about that place.
Probably Jimmy Savile creeping around.
Like one of the cleaners said she saw like the top half of a nurse walking down where the bands used to play once, but it used to be like higher up or lower down. Sorry, sir. And then one of my other friends said he was there one night after it had closed and went to the toilet and came back drip white, and he'd seen a man just looking through the glass doors. His girlfriend was like, shut up, mate. She's Australian, as you can tell by the wicked impression. And then she walked up and then turned around, didn't believe in ghosts, turned around, came back there and went, we're fucking going, mate.
She's got a very deep voice, hasn't she?
Yeah, there's a fucking ghost up there, mate. Tell you what, mate. So yeah, they scarpered. And now they live in Australia. They were that scared.
They've gone to live in Australia.
They left the country.
No ghosts over there because it's sunny.
Yeah. So, Steve, I've asked you all. I've told you some stories. We've talked about ghosts. Are you more of a believer now than when you walked in that door?
Well, like I say, I've always been open to it because that's why I've been ghost hunting, but I've never seen anything. And for an example, at the Gallows of Justice, it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, all in darkness in the courtroom, and everyone's just like sort of chilling out, listening. And suddenly I hear a train in the distance, like, you know, bear, bear, as it's going under a tunnel, really distance at the edge of your hearing. And suddenly, like 3 of the girls go, oh, "Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Oh, that's, what did they say then?" And they worked it. They made it into a voice.
All right.
And so I didn't want to like go, "Oh, fucking hell, it's a train, you know." But I wanted them to enjoy the experience. So I think what you believe beforehand, definitely, you know, if you believe in ghosts, you will see ghosts. If you don't, then you won't. Mm-hmm. So it's, you know, to play it halfway like me, I don't think's getting me anywhere. Yeah. I need to go in and go, right, I believe it. Because, I mean, another one, I was stood by a fireplace and turned all the lights off. And this woman's going, "Is there anybody there? Anyone there?" And she points at me and says, "There's a little girl stood just where you are, right in your spot. Right, can you feel her presence in you?" And you've got like 30 people looking at you. And part of you thinks you've got to say yes, just to kind of fit in and make them all happy. Yeah. But I thought, no, I can't feel anything. So I said, "No, I can't feel anything." "Are you sure? You should feel cold because she's walking through your body." And I said, and I was like, "No, I'm sorry, I can't feel anything." And just goes, "Get someone else." So I got someone else over, and they could feel it. And this is what hypnotists do. When you go and see a hypnotist, they get you all to put your hands out and lift. And the most suggestible people, then they go with them. So
Scientologists
the last one standing, they go to the front, and because they're not mugs, but they're suggestible.
Yeah.
Whereas I've always been, I don't know.
But it's like that's what I do with Scientology. You know, they make you do that exam first.
All right, yeah.
I did it once.
Did you?
No, man, I'm perfect for them. You know, I believe in everything.
Have you seen the Peep Show one where they do it, where they go and
No.
join a cult?
No, I was
Just to get warm, and they fill in this form, and it's like,
I did. I was reading a lot about cults a few years ago, and for about a good 2 days, I was thinking maybe I should set up a cult.
yeah,
That'd be so much fun. I was reading how to get people in, like how they speak really quiet.
yeah,
so-
and it's all
so
you
everyone-
feel as though your life's not achieved the goals that you set out to do.
And like-
You feel like you're not being appreciated. You feel like you.
and repeating the person's name. So, Steve,
yeah.
how are you feeling today, Steve? So, anyway, Steve, what's going on with this, Steve? So, Steve, would you shag a ghost? You know, things like that. Which is my next question.
Would I shag a ghost?
Would you shag a ghost? It was asked of me on the first episode. My friend Carl asked me, "Would you shag a ghost?" And I said, I always like, "Would you consider it cheating?"
Ooh. It's just cheating, isn't it?
I said it. Yeah, I think it's cheating. You
so
know.
no.
Yeah. But
That's a good question.
would you shag a ghost?
I don't think that's ever been asked anywhere before that.
Well, yeah, but the people, your people need to know.
Haven't there been some films about that, sort of horror films?
Entity.
Yeah.
Tough wank, that film. Ghostbusters. They happen there. Ray Stantz gets a blowy off a...
A blowy?
Yeah. His like pants come undone and he's in the bed going, oh. And that was a kid's film, you know. They shouldn't have had that. But yeah,
That must be the X version. I haven't seen that.
So Steve, you know, you're doing everything not to answer this question, but would you shag a ghost?
No, because I'd get into trouble with my partner.
Okay. You're single, or
If I was single, yeah.
you would shag a ghost.
As long as she was sexy.
There we go, people asking the real questions on gigs and ghosts. But Steve, we are at the end. We've talked about your music. We've talked about ghosts.
Yeah, I think we've solved it, haven't we?
I think we have solved it. I think we've solved the world, to be honest. So, do you want to tell anybody about what you got coming up?
I think we mentioned it, haven't we?
We have mentioned it.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to throw in there?
No, just get a book together with all these stories. I think I'd buy it. It'd be amazing.
You write it, I'll draw it.
Well, save all your stories and then we'll put it together.
Yeah. Well, this has been Gigs and Ghosts, episode 4 with Steve Firth. So do check out Embrace, check out Land Sharks, check out One Side Horse.
And Mr. Shiraz as well.
Well, we know all about Mr. Shiraz. Well, you joining? I tried to get you to do it.
I know, I was partying up with my brother, wasn't I? So,
well.
Anyway.
But yeah, I think it's Ben Carter from Evil next week who's joining us.
Right, cool.
So he said he's got some wicked ghost stories. He sounds like a true believer.
Yeah, that's what you need really for this. Not
No, because I want to go on these deep dives and find out what people's thoughts about ghosts. Because as somebody who just believes in everything, I was having a deep dive into skinwalkers the other day and did not sleep very well.
Skinwalkers.
I'll send you some
Is
links.
that Skinwalker Ranch thing?
Yes,
you think?
yeah, man, that's...
I mean, I watch all this crap on Sky every night. I watched all Ghost. Well, you know. I mean, there's quite a few Ghost fans on there.
Yeah.
Which you just got. I can't explain that. You kind of like.
Yeah.
A lot of pubs and stuff where the table just wobbles and glasses fall off and. But you know,
Yeah.
just
I
like
can
weird
explain
things.
it,
Yeah.
Ghosts.
And it's not always like. You can't say it's vibrations from lorries or earthquakes because like suddenly a door will open and shut and.
Do you know, is it the Nag's Head up by Ailey Top Roundabout? Do a lovely carvery.
Right.
I had a friend who worked there and she sorry, I know it was the end of the podcast, but I've got to tell you this quickly. She was working once there and the Coke dispenser, all customers like at the bar and everything, the Coke gun dispenser just suddenly came out of its thing and stood in the air straight.
Like a snake?
Yeah, just straight and then just dropped to the floor and they were all just like going, what the fuck just happened? That was pretty creepy.
Could that be pressure though, like a hose pipe?
We don't live in a cartoon, mate. That's how it works.
You do. If anyone lives in the cartoon world, it's you.
It's true. But yeah, this has been Gigs and Ghosts. Wherever you're listening or watching it, thank you. Join us for episode 5 next week. We're getting closer to when I'll show you the scary, spooky photo, which you've now seen as well.
Oh, you're holding that back here?
Yeah,
right,
cool. People coming back. But yeah, do leave a review, give it a rating, give it an upvote, do subscribe, because it all helps out and makes things nice. But that has been Steve, I've been Mikey, this has been Gigs and Ghosts. See you all next time. Woo!